have anything to tell you on the injuries other than Trav is getting better. He's progressing. We'll see how he does the rest of today and tomorrow, and then we'll go from there. As far as Chris, updates on Chris, I really don't have much of an update for you there. There is communication going on, however, and that's a plus, and Brett's taking care of all that. As far as the game goes, listen, there were some good things. There were some things we obviously need to work on. We'll get the receiving things taken care of. I feel good about the receivers that we have. That was just we're not normally guys that drop the ball, but we did. And so that's reality, but we've got to fix that. I think we still have some talent there that they'll just keep improving as they continue to play. I've seen what they can do before. So I'm figuring we'll get that worked out. And then defensively, there were some good things. There were some real positives. The 3rd and 12 got us, but there were some positive things in there, again, that we can work on. And there's some things that we need to clean up. But I thought the effort was there. I thought that was good. I thought for the most part, the plan was good on both sides. And then the special teams part of it, we had worked real hard on all these different fakes, and they got us. I mean, they got us in a position there where they needed a couple yards, and they were able to, get that. The penalty before that, they gave them just 2 yards ago wasn't good. So, anyways, with that, time's yours.
Let's go first to Adam Teicher. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey, Andy. We have not seen a game like that from Kadarius Toney since he's been here. How do you explain the way he played the other night? And Brad, I'll have a second question as well.
Yeah, you know what, Adam? I would probably take the blame on that. I mean, the kid, when I said that after the game, I meant that. He missed all the training camp from honestly the first punt return. Pre-practice on through. So he literally had no training camp until just the last few days when we got back here. He did some, and we measured that. We didn't give him a lot. But with that, I thought him getting in the game was important. And then, but to be fair, I've got to kind of look in the mirror on that one. That I probably didn't put him in the best position there. Because he doesn't drop the ball. I mean, that's just not his deal. He's a very, very secure catcher. And I just think that the only way we're going to get him back is playing him. I think this week will be different than the last week. But I thought it was important that he got in the game, got caught up on the speed. But I probably put him in bad positions, in primary positions there. And especially later in the game, he's still getting his legs back and all that bit. So.
Okay. Are there things you need to do with him to kind of get him back on that path, to get him?
Yeah, I think. Listen, I think he's had some time here now to keep working, which I think will benefit him. Getting in that game, I thought was an important thing. I mean, that part was important. Putting him in the positions I did, I probably shouldn't have done that. But I think you'll see better as we go down the road here from him.
Let's go next to Sam McDowell. Go ahead, Sam.
Hey, Andy. Brad, I'll have a quick follow-up too. Just with your wide receivers in general, is it your ultimate goal for some guys to separate themselves in the rotation, or do you foresee trying to cycle them all into the game, over the long haul as well?
Yeah, we've got the 3 guys that have been here, and they end up doing, probably the best in the game. And then we've got 3 younger guys that we've got to bring along, and then you have James, who's been in a form of this, and then is really tied into the special teams too. So I think the 3 younger guys, whether it's 4, 8, 19, they're all kind of new in this and learning in games. And as much as we think Kadarius is a seasoned veteran, he hasn't really played a lot. So But I think you'll see growth from them as we go. We'll just see how that continues to work, but eventually you'd love them all to be, where we want them. So, and then if they separate, they separate. Well, however that works. But I can't predict that part.
Obviously, there was so much focus on the drops after the game. How would you just analyze the wide receiver performance outside of the drops part? Obviously there were a couple routes one early on. Go ahead. Thanks.
Yeah, I think the route part was good. I just think that we've got to, for the most part, there are a couple that we've got to work on. You guys had asked me about the crossing route, and we kind of goofed that up. So I mean that, but we can fix that part. We've all got to do better. That's kind of the thing I took out of this, was whether it's coaching, whether it's playing, whether it's the O line, D line. We can all take something out of this game and get better at it. I didn't think all the way around. There were spurts of good, and then there were spurts of not so good, and then we're right in a position to go win the game. And normally we do that. We didn't do that. But normally we take advantage of those situations, and defense had a big play on the batted ball, and then we had a holding penalty, and we had a drop there that down the stretch that would have put us right in position to finish it off. So I've told you guys this before, and I tell the team this all the time, and tell myself this all the time, that there's a small margin between winning and losing in this thing, and but you got to take care of business. When you put yourself through 4 quarters in a position to go get it, then you take care of business and finish it.
Go next to Nate Taylor. Go ahead, Nate.
Hey, Andy, I have 2 questions as well. My first one is, this was the first time with you and Nagy sort of working together without obviously EB to call the plays. I know you say you have 51% of the vote. I just wonder, how do you think the operation went between you and Nagy, and did you try to give him much of the say in the play calling on Thursday night?
Yeah, we had great communication. I mean, that's how we go about it. I mean, it was just like as if EB were there. I mean, it's the same type of communication that we have during the game, I thought that part was relatively smooth. I didn't have a problem with the way that went.
Let's go next to Vahe. Go ahead, Vahe.
Thanks. Hey, Andy. I'll have a follow-up too, Brad. Andy, with Kadarius, I think you used the term, the only way to get him back. And I do wonder if, when somebody has a game like that, how much you feel like you might need to talk to him directly about what happened and either reassure him or just get a better understanding of what went wrong.
Yeah. So normally the player knows probably better than anybody. So, but I have talked to him a couple different times. And so we just need to keep going through the process here. It's, you got to keep playing, and the more he plays, I mean, that's just not his thing. I mean, he's not a guy that drops balls. He's got great hands. So we just got to keep working through it.
And the other thing, Andy, too, is I don't know if you're aware of this, but he'd had some social media kind of, blasting Giants a little bit. And I wonder if you're aware of that and what you'd say to that, but also in general, how you deal with that kind of thing when it comes up, as it does.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I didn't know that. You're saying recently, I presume. Yeah. So I didn't know that. But if it is a problem, then I obviously talk to the person about it.
Go next to Matt Derrick. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, Coach, I had a couple of questions about just the offensive line play, and particular first, Juwan has a really good quick first step. How does the tackle develop that, as far as getting on the quarterback's cadence and being able to get that quick first step on the outside?
Yeah, so he works on that hard. He gets it pretty close at times, and sometimes too fast. And so we've just got to we got to make sure it's not too fast, because then that obviously hurts the team. So, but he takes a lot of pride in that, and works very hard at that to try to make sure that he gets off well. And you watch the rest of the games this weekend. I mean, that's with these defensive ends and the way they can roll, that helps you get into position, a tick quicker and that. But you don't want to be offsides. That's for sure.
And you mentioned the rest of the weekend. There's a lot of talk now about the tackles and some who do line up, but maybe a little bit more in the backfield than traditional. And the question about how close it gets to the rule. What is your coaching point and Andy Heck's coaching point about how to line up there and what's kind of allowed and not allowed?
Yeah. So normally you're able to split the center's hip there. The guys, you don't want it to be a tell when you're running passing. You also have the officials there that'll normally help you out with it. If you're too deep, they'll give you a warning and you go with it. They do a good job with that, I think. And so, Matt, I mean, the guys are all trying to get every advantage they can. This has been a life since the passing game came into fruition. That's been one of the things that tackles do. I mean, that's been around for a long time, and then you just have to make sure that you don't take advantage of it and get yourself either too deep or leave off the snap too quick.
Let's go next to Pete Sweeney. Go ahead, Pete.
Coach, wanted to ask you about a specific part of your game study. What did you make of the run blocking, and how reasonable is it to think week to week that can be improved heading into the next game?
Yeah, we can always do better. So, and we need to. We need to do better there. And so we'll get that. We'll get that taken care of. That's a good group up front there. So that, but we've got to clean up some things too.
We'll go last three: Sarin, Nick, and Matt. Go ahead, Sarin.
And Brad, I'll have a follow-up if I could. Coach, I know the short yardage has been a bugaboo at times, and the play kind of got blown up this last time. Just on that play specifically, it didn't. I mean, there was a breakdown everywhere, right? It wasn't just one guy. Is that a result of not enough reps with it? Is it what kind of went into that breaking down?
Yeah, we've been practicing it. They got us from inside, and so if you're gonna, normally if there's gonna be a breakdown, you're thinking off the edge or something, but definitely not inside. You want to have the guy to be able to dart inside if he needs to, and whether it's the B gap or C gap. But we just overset that thing a little too far, so can't do that. I mean that.
Then would you?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Coach. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I apologize.
No, that's a simple part. Yeah.
Yeah. Would you, is putting Blaine Gabbert in to run short yardage? Is that, I know there've been a couple of quarterbacks and other teams that the backup has kind of been that specialty guy. He's a bigger guy. Would you consider,
I'll tell you what's crazy is when you play these Thursday games, then you get to see all these other games, and QB sneaks didn't look too good yesterday, honestly. So we'll go back and, we're going to figure it out here. I mean, that's what we do. I mean, we try to make sure we get this covered, but we've got to do better. I mean, it's just a better thing that we've got to take care of.
Last two, we'll go Nick and then Matt. Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, and you got a question more so away from the field. You had another commercial debut during the game with you and Pat doing the combo meal thing. Kind of what brought that up, and kind of what was that experience like a second time around doing that? Did you think you got a future in that? Because it seems like they keep asking you.
Yeah, they did. Listen, I'm sticking to my day job. I'm not an actor for sure, but it's something in the off season, that I did. And I originally kind of did it for Pat, and they asked us to do another one. So I did it, but I know I'm not very good at it. And so I'm gonna keep my day job here.
We'll go last to Matt McMullen. Go ahead, Matt.
Hey, Coach. It seemed like Rasheed had a really good feel for space on his touchdown catch. I'm just curious, when you look at the tape, what you saw from that play.
Yeah, no, he did a nice job. Both he and Blake did nice jobs on theirs of kind of feeling the area. And that's one of Rasheed's strengths. And we probably could use him a little bit more in those type of, in different situations where space is important. But we're trying to bring these guys along as we go, and that's. But I thought you did. I thought you sure did a nice job right there.
Coach, we appreciate the time. Thanks for joining us.
All right, guys. Thank you.